Hey there, part-timers. Once again, it's Anton from Anton Bay. Thank you guys for stopping by the, I guess it used to be the collection room. Right now, it is just packages and empty shelves and boxes and just junk everywhere as I'm getting the process of packing and moving. I did want to wrap up my Guardian series, and we only have two official issues left. We have 61 and 62, and then we have the 4 annuals. And I thought maybe I could just put them all in one video and kind of close out the series because things are getting hectic here, and I wanted to wrap this up before we move because, you know, who knows what'll happen when we get there. So anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy issue 61. As the series wraps, the whole deal with Starhawk and the Elder Gods and everything like that, that story is pretty much on the wrap. He is, I'm pretty sure, completely separated at this point from Alita, which is good. That was a big strain on their relationship. And I think she has totally moved on to somebody else because they had a very weird, controlling, abusive relationship. Both of them to each other were terrible. But as you wish, Quasar. These white panels are pretty weird. They're just totally black and white. It's kind of a cool thing to see, especially in a book that is so colorful. Her name is Kismet. That sounds like a cat's name. Pathbreaker. I don't exactly remember how this series ends. Oh wow, the old Spider-Man figures. Oh no, that's the old that's the one from McDonald's. Those were great figures for McDonald's toys. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't really remember how this series ends or what the, I don't recall. And it has been so long since I've read it and finished it. I know one thing I've been wondering a lot with these series is that come to a close, do the writers know in advance before it happens? Or is it just kind of, it just ends and that they get like 1 month notice, hey, wrap up your book? Because it's gone. This book, I feel like they have circled it back around, and I think they had quite a bit of heads up. Yeah, she looks fantastic, and no matter what you put her in, that orange and yellow colors just look great together. Yeah, it looks like this book they have had a good chance to circle around and kind of wrap everything towards their conclusion, and that's pretty cool. You got the whole Hawk God's inclusion of everything, which he only exists to make Starhawk make sense, because he's kind of a lame of the eternal beings. Celestials, he's the lamest in my opinion. The Guardians, you get to see everybody kind of come back into picture because we haven't seen Charlie and Nikki for quite some time. In any prominent sort of role, and that's sad. They get so involved with the mega god stuff that your lower class characters just get left in the wayside, and they are some of the most interesting. But we do bring kind of everybody back for the close of this series, which you need to. I hate it when they don't. I hate it when it's just like a side character that goes off and then it's like, well, what happened? So I am not a wild fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies by any means. But I will give them this. Their ship is cooler than the ship that they have in the comic. Like, their comic book version of the ship is just not the best. And there. What, we end on a cliffhanger? Wow. Huh. Yeah, it just kind of ends. Maybe they didn't know the end was coming because they just left it really like blah. Like that was a very unsatisfactory final page. Now these, of course, go back through time with the series, and I don't think there was any more than 4 annuals to this book, but if there was, I'm sorry, I've only got 4. Pretty sure there was only 4 annuals. Series length, I would have thought there might be 1 more, but it's possible that it wasn't done. This is from earlier in the series. I never know when it comes to annuals where they fall into everything that's going on, but this is clearly within the, like, this would have been wrapped up after the first year because Charlie's wearing his original strap uniform. He's got the buzz cut, so this was definitely, I mean, obviously right after issue 12. But does it kind of contain its own story? Does it tie in with stories with another? That's what I mean when I say I don't really know where it fits in, because a lot of times you read the 12 issues and you grab the annual, and the annual makes no freaking sense at all, and I'm just left scratching my head as to, like, well, what the heck is the deal? You get that awesome Alita splash page. You get a nice Guardian splash page of all of them. I love the space artwork that was done in this book. Character bios, short stories packed in the back. Wonderful stuff like that. Like, Marty is still prominent in here. You got a Snark. Not much to say on it, really. The art is fantastic. The earlier part of the series, I feel like the art was stronger. The cover is lame sauce. So here's my problem. Here, you get to annual 64. This is part 4. I don't remember. Did you have to read the regular series? Is this part 4 from there? Is this part 4 from another book? It's probably tied in with another superhero group. So annuals just confuse me. They always have. Trying to make them fit in with the normal stories, and I've never been a fan of them. I'm glad they stopped doing them, because they were a pain in the butt. They're oversized, and far too often you'd have these big crossover conclusions to a story that happened in an annual, and like, you had to get this annual, and if you didn't know, you know, maybe I'm reading Fantastic Four, but then, I gotta get an X-Men annual or an Avengers annual to finish that story from there, or vice versa. I just hate annuals. Even though these are good-looking annuals, I still think it would be better to not have them in play of the series. That is a disturbingly beefy, weird, curvy man. I don't care. Before. Huh. So, in my opinion, if you're going to do an annual, you need to fill it with, like, short stories. Multiple short stories. Side stories. Maybe a backstory, a flashback. Just a... You know what? A non-earth-shattering side quest that the team can go on that's maybe pretty lighthearted, or just a day in the life of type stories. Would have been a lot better, in my opinion, than going so over the top with some of this stuff. And it would have helped to grow, like, character development. Anyway. Annual 2. These are big, beefy things. They're always like 64 pages. Annual 3, you can see we're much farther along in here. Alita looking great, Charlie looking bald, We've got Yellow Jacket on the team now. Man, this is nice art. Huh. It's like a little step up from the norm. Either that or the coloring's different. I don't know. Either way, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Beautiful panel shapes. No real idea what the heck is going on in the story at this point. Like I said, annuals are not my thing. I love Yellow Jacket's uniform. Daughters of Calatani. Pull me down now. Yeah, this was such a beautiful book. Yeah, I'm going to reiterate again. The more they stayed away from godlike stories, and the more they could have done like smaller, offbeat missions and plots and stories from different corners of the universe, they could have made the book, I think, a lot easier to get on board with. More love for the characters. When they started really going heavy in the cosmic route, you lost track of some of your more interesting, down-to-earth team members, and that hurt everything. Gosh, Shamrock should be looking fine. I don't recall Shamrock. I know the name almost sounds familiar, but I don't recall this character in Marvel Comics. That's kind of weird. That's a cool page. Yeah, I would love, and I really feel like they should really give us some of these older Guardian of the Galaxy designs in action figure form. Nikki would be absolutely fantastic if we could get a Nikki. Nikki, Charlie 27, Alita, these would make beautiful Marvel Legends figures. Especially now that they've kind of beefed up the quality. They've also beefed up the price a lot, but still, for quality, it might be worth it. Last one here, we got series annual number 4. What year are we looking at here? 1994. Little Big League. Got Rancor stirring up the mix, I think, for the last time. This might be the story that closes her out of the book, if I remember right. This is the other problem with the annuals. In the fashion of getting back issues, you'll get the whole series. You track them all down. And sometimes you may or may not know that the series came with a bunch of annuals. And so you're like, well, where in the hell is that story? Where did that story end? Where did it go? Where's the conclusion to this? And, you know, it's harder to track the annuals down sometimes than it is to fill in all the gaps in the series, because you don't even know if there is annual sometimes. Of course, and I'm talking about like before internet times. You actually had to go look in comic book stores. Back when I was originally tracking this series, it's like, oh, annuals. Heck, I didn't know there was annuals. So this series, like I've said, is one of my first, actually my second series that I ever completed, and I did it entirely out of a quarter bin. I loved it. Alpha Flight was the first one, Guardians was the second one, and I started building them both basically simultaneously, just grabbing everything I saw in a quarter bin that was this book. And Alpha Flight, even though bigger, got finished first. Guardians came second, if I remember right. And these were my cherries. I just love these things. Eventually, of course, I tried to track down many other complete series through quarter bins back in the 90s. New Warriors, packed out a whole lot of New Warriors. Quite a bit. I think I got most of a run of Warlord at one point. A lot of stuff with Khazar. Quarter bins were so cool back in the day. Rancor's got a baby. Yeah, give us more short stories, guys. Oh, and a nice Lolita pop up there. Splash page. You get their ugly ship. That's it. And I know that's maybe a little bit anticlimactic. I've been trying to knock out this stuff as far as packing goes and get moving. And going to Kansas, moving to Kansas here in just a couple of weeks. And then as a collector and as a house full of stuff, there's just so much to get packaged up, so much to get packed safely. It is extremely exhausting and taxing. And in the midst of that, I'm like, ugh, you know what? I still want to finish out my Guardian series before we move, because you never know how long, you know, by the time you get really down to the nitty gritty of packing, and it's like 4 days to process, probably, to move everything. And then you get set up, you get internet hooked up at your house, you get all these things going. It could be a long time, honestly, before I got another video done. So I wanted to knock out and finish Guardians of the Galaxy. And sorry if I didn't have more prep on this, but it's what I got. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I wanted to have this series finished. I want to put it all in a big playlist so that anybody who wants to just, you know, just see every page of this wonderful series can. And that means a lot to me, and it meant a lot for me to finish it. I hope I will be back to you guys fairly shortly. But until then, I wanted to make sure this one was done. And I will catch you guys later. All right.